Welcome back, and let's return to the big news today. Barnaby Joyce leaving the National Party, although not clear whether he will be joining One Nation yet. And joining me now, National Senator M.Canavan. Matt, thanks for your time. Now, it was almost a certainty that Barnaby Joyce was set to join One Nation today. You wouldn't accept that outcome. You worked tirelessly to try convince Barnaby not to join One Nation. What did you say to him?
Look, I'll keep those conversations largely private, but Sharri, I've been making the points this week about One Nation that I don't think they can deliver real change. I mean, effectively what we've seen from Pauline this week is her play the victim card, constantly blaming others for her either misunderstanding of Senate procedure or just simply wanting to ignore it for political purposes. She could have had a debate on the burqa ban. There's lots of ways you can have a debate in the Senate. She tried one way, and that way actually doesn't generate a debate, the formal motion process. It proceeds without debate, and any one senator can object to that, and that's what happened. So the Senate didn't say no to Pauline Hanson. One senator did. She could have moved her motion, her bill, through general business. She could have suspended standing orders. That would have, both those techniques would have brought on a debate, and she could have done what she says she wanted to. Instead, of course, for One Nation, it's almost always about the outrage, not the outcome. And they've got a lot of outrage. They've generated a lot of headlines. But I bet you this, Sharri, that just like 8 years ago, when Pauline tried this trick, this recycled stunt is not going to generate any change. It's not going to deliver.
But Matt, I'm keen to speak to you about Barnaby, not the burqa stunt, because that's a few days ago now. Barnaby Joyce did quit the Nationals Party today. You couldn't convince him to stay as much as you tried. What's your reaction to that?
Well, look, I don't know if much has changed with Barnaby, Sharri. A few months ago, he said he was a free agent when the story leaked, and he said he was a free agent. He was going to consider his future. In a sense, today he formalised that by leaving the Nationals Party, so he is now formally a free agent. He hasn't joined another team though, so I haven't given up. I'll continue to work on him over the summer. I've already sent him a couple of messages, and look, there's always the Bible story of the prodigal son. He's so loved in the Nationals Party. I know many members today are very sad. I've spoken to many, had messages from many. Very, very sad that it's come to this. And but just like the prodigal son, I think Barnaby would be welcome back if he reflected on this over summer, thinks about whether he wants to join this circus act called One Nation, or does he feel that pull and that tug from those Nationals members who he did speak so glowingly about today.
You said earlier this week that this is turning into a longer saga than Days of Our Lives. You said, I think people are all sick and tired of it. Are you personally sick of Barnaby Joyce's antics?
Well, look, I am over it. It's not something I want to be doing, but look, I suppose we've got to the end of this particular episode of Days of Our Lives, and the to be continued has flashed across the screen. You know, we're not there. We haven't found out who killed JR or whatever the particular storyline is. But so while that's the case, I'll keep fighting to try and get a good outcome for my party and what I think it should be the country. To my mind, there's no doubt that if we have Barnaby as a nat, we have a much better chance of killing off net zero, which is a terrible idea, costing Australians an arm and a leg. We've finally built up a substantial parliamentary team now of 70 LNP members, at least before Barnaby went, so 69 now in the LNP opposed to it. I mean, One Nation, give them their due, they've been fighting against net zero too. They've got 4 senators.
But just on this point,
and so
sorry
I want
to interrupt.
I want to win.
But just on this point, I mean, Barnaby's original reason for considering leaving the party was net zero, but now, thanks to your leadership on this issue, the Nationals don't support net zero. So it's what is this exposed about why he has actually quit?
Look, it wasn't just me. I thank you for the credit, but I had Ross Cadell lead this review with me. Page Research did great work, and Barnaby did amazing work too. He brought this back on the agenda, first day back after the election.
That wasn't the point of my question, though, Matt. The point was he's not leaving for policy reasons.
Yeah, so there's obviously this issue with the leadership, and as I said a few months ago, I think now it's incumbent on David Littleproud as leader to do what he can to bring Barnaby back to the team. The leaders should always, of course, try and keep the team together.
Should he offer him a front bench position? Should he offer him a front bench position to encourage him to stay?
I'm not. Look, I think in these circumstances you should try to do whatever it takes. I'm not going to suggest any particular thing, and to be very clear, Barnaby hasn't asked for anything in particular of me or anyone that I know of. But you know, it's a welcome outcome that the Nationals Party has not lost a seat at a general election since 2007. That's a pretty remarkable record. But it is unfortunate that in the last 3 years we have now lost 3 members of the party room to defections, and we lost a senator at the last election as well. And so that's almost a fifth of our room gone in the last few years. And look, to lose one member of your team to defection could be misfortune, as Oscar Wilde would say. Lose another might be carelessness, but to lose a third now just looks like recklessness. We can't keep losing people like this.
You're blaming the leadership. You're blaming David Littleproud. You're blaming David Littleproud for this.
It's incumbent on the leaders in particular. I've spoken to former leaders of the party about this, and you know, it's a lot herding cats in this place, obviously, and there's a lot of things that go on that you and the public wouldn't even know about, trying to keep a team together. And yes, all of us have that responsibility to try and do that, but no more. The most responsibility rests and falls on the shoulder of the captain of the team. So, you know, I would like our leadership to reach out to Barnaby over summer to see what can be done. There's a lot of time now. We're away from Parliament now. We've just finished in the Senate. I think the House will have to reconvene briefly. But within the next 24 hours, we'll all be out of here and not back till February. So we've got plenty of time to put our case for why Barnaby would be the best fit for him, would be the Nationals Party, best fit for the country would be in the Nationals Party. And as I say, ultimately, it's not about personalities or who we like. I'm not here. Look, I consider Barnaby a mate, but I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to get things done, and I think we'll get more done with Barnaby as part of the Nationals team.
Just finally, if Pauline had cooked you a Wagyu on a sandwich press, would you have eaten it?
I don't think I'm that cheap a date, Sharri. Always like a bit of red meat, but I don't know. I don't know about that cooking. Look, it's not a glamorous life here in Canberra. Sometimes you think, I've just before I came on air, we hadn't eaten because we've been in the chamber the whole evening, and I cracked open a bit of smoked salmon I had in the fridge. That's my dinner tonight. So at least it's got good protein.
Well, that's why you're so skinny. You need to eat a bit more. All right, M.Canavan. Maybe you need to pop round to Pauline's office and she'll put some meat on the sandwich press barbie for you. All right, great to see you. Thank you for your time. Well, arrests for manslaughter after the devastating Hong Kong blaze. Investigators probing whether unsafe scaffolding fueled the fire. Those developments after the break.
Your perfect